So the Amoxtli Tezcatlipoca is the indigenous name or Nahuatl name for a codex that's academically known as the Codex Fejérváry-Mayer. This is a really amazing manuscript. It's a sacred manuscript from central Mexico. We think the area of Puebla, and it's known as a book of days. So it's a book that relates the powers of specific deities to specific points of time. So that could be a season, it could be a particular date, it could be a month, and it would be consulted by knowledge keepers and timekeepers in response to questions from members of the public who were looking for auspicious days, or maybe days to avoid, for things like taking trips or doing certain business, or if a child was being born, what would it mean if they were born on a specific day? So it's a really important object. It's, as I said, sacred, and it's only one of less than 15 that survived the Spanish invasion of Mexico. So we're extremely privileged to be able to care for it. It's an object that's made of deerskin, we're pretty sure, covered in, we refer to it as gesso, a white pigment, and then hand-drawn by scribes, for lack of a better word. Now the pigments we know come from a variety of sources. So they're made from insects, they're made from flowers, they're made from minerals, but they would have been sourced from across Mexico, as would have the knowledge that goes into making a codex like this. So it would have been the work of many hands and many communities of knowledge. So for indigenous communities, it's an incredibly important object. Not only is it sacred and carries sacred meanings, but it's an object that encompasses the incredible depth of knowledge, wisdom, science, religion, social structure of the ancestors of the current communities in Mexico, indigenous communities in Mexico. It's a living testament to the diverse thoughts and understandings of the universe and of the cosmos that were represented by pre-colonial indigenous communities, and knowledge that is still carried today. So it is not only a representative of the past, but very much a testament of living knowledge and living communities. We know that it left Mexico around the time of the Spanish invasion because there are recorded instances of Cortés and other conquistadors and missionaries in and around 1521 who encountered these similar manuscripts across Mexico and burning them in their thousands. So it must have left around that time. And we're assuming that it went back to Spain and then through connections in the royal court made its way to Hungary. It went through at least 2 Hungarian noble families. The second would have been the Fejérváry family. And then when Gábor Fejérváry died, he left it to his nephew, who was a political refugee. And as is often the case, he needed money. So he sold it to local Liverpool antiquarian and goldsmith, Joseph Mayer. Joseph Mayer then showed it in his private museum on Colquitt Street. And then when Mayer gave his collections to the city and the new Liverpool City Museum, this codex, this Amoxtli, was part of that. I think the most important thing we do when we curate collections like this is get input from communities of origin. By starting, if we don't have connections with those communities, then we start with networks. You know, if that means reaching out to other museums in the first instance or using local community connections. Diaspora connections are deep and have connections back, in this case in Mexico, who can also help. But I think we have to take a step back and recognize the shortcomings of our own curatorial knowledge, and that actually there's a lot more to lived experience and lived knowledge than there is in what we were taught in books, and that it's always worth going to the people for whom this object means something more than just an object of academic interest. So we've been really privileged through sort of a chance of fate. There was a doctoral student at Manchester Metropolitan University, Jose Sherwood Gonzalez, who came to us wanting to look at the Codex in initially a slightly different light. And then when he went to Mexico to do his field work, he and was talking about his research there and meeting indigenous groups and stakeholders, he started talking to INA Puebla, which is a museum service, as well as the Americas Research Network. And through Jose and through INA Puebla and the Americas Research Network, we were really privileged to host a timekeeper, a knowledge keeper who came from Mexico, and she greeted the Codex traditionally in Nahuatl and in Spanish, and she asked for blessings for it. And then she's been explaining to Jose and through Jose to us a bit more about the importance of this amazing manuscript to communities in Mexico, but also through our partners at the Americas Research Network and INA Puebla. All of our interpretation is being translated into not only Spanish, but to Nahuatl, to the indigenous language, so that it's no longer just the perspective of the colonizer. It's also the perspective of the indigenous people and their voices that we'll hear. They are living testaments to living communities, that, you know, the world is full of a diversity that was masked for a long time and maybe repressed for a long time through a variety of means, especially colonialism, but that actually that knowledge in those communities still exist and are vibrant today.